This is gonna be a rough one. Hey guys, this is Ty and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be reacting to my very first ever film. Probably the video that got me into filmmaking. Very curious to kind of see how it holds up over time. This is gonna be very embarrassing because I absolutely hate rewatching my old videos and my old content. I guess you look back, you kind of see more of the mistakes. Plus the equipment that I had, no one really taught me what to do, how to kind of make a narrative feature, see how it turns out. Okay, right off the bat, this is already looking like a train wreck, because when I shot this film, I shot it in like one of those terrible camcorders, the old video style camcorders. Because I shot this in A-level, by the way, and when you're shooting in A-level, it didn't really have like DSLRs. To be honest, I didn't know the difference between a DSLR and like a regular video camera. Everything you see here was just me holding that camera and walking along the scene. The guy in this short as well, he was really good. His name is Adam, and he just jumped onto it. He gave it his all. So, just a little bit of context. We had to shoot this all in the school. I couldn't shoot it outside. Well, I didn't really think about shooting it outside. So every shot you see is within a school building. Because we were A-level students, so you have to wear suits to kind of look the part. And so everyone's kind of wearing similar clothes, but the background and the environments is all in a school. So the scale of the film isn't really that massive. It's just very toned down because of it. That shot was, I just typed it on YouTube. Shot of a car driving in the sunset. And I think it's actually off a video game that if you really pause it, you can see it. Also, the tint I used for this film grade was just a tint over the top. And you can tell it's just absolutely atrocious. Also, on this next scene, you can just tell that we had prop weapons. Every single prop you see on here is a kid's toy. And the one that guy on the right-hand side is holding is a toy one that is wrapped in, like, silver sellotape. Or like, I think it's duct tape actually, yeah, duct tape. It's atrocious. I choose to make a creative decision with it later on that when you see it, you're just gonna ask why. Why did you do that? Why couldn't you just type it on Google and find something like that? But other than that, you can see my main actor, he's actually really good at what he's doing here.
Project Q is back.
The sound is disgusting.
I love you so much.
You know what to do.
So here I was trying to create an idea of like a fast-paced motion to it, because in films you see that jump cut with trailers, and instead of actually jump cutting it, all I did was I cut the film, spaced it, and didn't even cut the time. I kind of just spaced it and then hoped for the best. The reactions of some of my actors in this one was just really funny. You can tell I'm in a school, and here you can just tell that these guys were definitely school students. The guy who was being strangled, he did a really good job at selling it, but you can just tell he smiles a bit just before you shoot it. The main thing about this was it was really fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I can see some of the mistakes, and then you can tell the gun. Ah, dear heavens. And look, what is he doing? So the guy at the bottom there is a good friend of mine, Ross Clark, and I don't know what he's doing. He's supposed to have been shot and dead, but he's having fun there. This is gonna be a rough one. Look at that. Okay, look at that. What is that? What is that? There's a red plastic toy gun pointing at the camera. But the actor's really selling it, to the point where you really don't think about it too much.
What are you asking us to do?
Not before. We finished.
Before we get to probably the cheesiest part of this video, you can kind of see that the sound, this is before I learned anything about sound. I was kind of shooting it on the camcorder thinking, oh, everything's going to sound clean, everything's going to sound great. And here you're starting to see that, maybe not, because you can barely hear what he's saying. The idea behind this story,
What are you asking us
we'll
to
get to
do?
it in a moment.
Not before.
Not like before.
We finished the job.
Are you so sure?
That is definitely my voice pitched up to sound more menacing. Okay, I have to say, of all the shots that we did, this was probably the best one that I ever did. We shot this like a couple of times, like we shot it a lot. All I asked him was to say no multiple times. And at first I thought it was just gonna look meh, but he gave it 110%. And you can clearly see it in this shot. Without him, this whole thing would have just not looked as great as it did. There it is. The most questionable choice, having that toy gun. Why? Why? What is the purpose of that being there? There is no need, absolutely no need for that to be there. Man, I'm trying to make myself look like Christopher Nolan. This is stripped off The Dark Knight, and at me. I was 16.
The pain.
Okay, this is one of my best friends, Steven. He's the nicest guy in the world. You wouldn't see him in a role where he's a bad guy. I had to have him be so serious. He just killed it. I asked him to put on an eye patch for some reason because I thought it would look cool. So Steven, if you're watching this, you did great.
I will show you my anger.
Again, the restraints of my budget. You know, we had to use this area multiple times for a lot of scenes. The actor himself is actually really good. He really shows it in his physicality. So he's also good looking and well built. That scene of people running around, that took forever to do because everyone kept bumping into each other. At one point, they all ran in a straight line. I was just like, no, we need to make it look like more chaotic or something.
I will show you my pain.
One day I win an Oscar, who knows? My friend Steven, again, asking him to really sell him being a villain and being a bad guy. He's just smiling a little bit because every time we shot this scene, he would always chuckle and laugh. And one time they got so close that Adam made a funny joke. He said, "Oh, you're gonna kiss me now." That was so funny. He makes kicking a door just fantastic, doesn't he? Look at that. 10 out of 10, I have to say. He makes it feel more epic. That shot was not only fun to do, but technically, I had to use the zoom out feature on that camcorder I mentioned. Didn't know that dolly shots existed, but you can kind of see that she's laughing on the left-hand side. This is Lily, by the way. She didn't have to do it, but she did it. And without everyone putting in 110%, I probably would have never made a single film in my life. Another one of my best friends, Isaac. He looks so young here because he doesn't have the beard. My other friend, Steven, who was playing the villain, wasn't there. I had to shoot it myself. I was like, well, I'm the only other black guy who could really shoot this besides this other guy who wasn't there at the time. And as you can tell, it just looks so cringe. And it's that same plastic gun that just looks absolutely cheap and terrible. Also, the voiceover, that was me, and... Ay, ay, ay. 10 out of 10?
Professor, I need you to tell me everything.
Okay, let's... No, we're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna talk about it. Oh my days. Okay, no, I'm gonna rewind that. I had to play the kind of mysterious agent role of asking what's really happening to create that threat in the trailer. And that again is one of my friends, Dan. He was very pivotal in me wanting to continue to make films. I hope one day to work with him again. Also, this shot, what is going on here? Like, ugh. I'm in a classroom wearing a suit that says SWAT team that's definitely painted with a toy gun in my hand. For the performance, doesn't even sell it. Okay, this again. What is going on? He's trying to show that people have abilities, and I've really flung myself back. But again, what is going on here? This sequence, as you can tell, it was me and Steven. You can just tell the most unserious people in the world trying to shoot a serious scene, and the idea is supposed to pick me up. But Steven, God bless him, he's the skinniest guy in the world, And at the time, I wasn't very much a light kid. I'm super duper tiny, like 5'3" or something. Steven, he he had to try and pick me up. He just couldn't pick me up. I was just way too heavy. Thing about the shot though, if you look here, when he hits the gun, I made sure you could see the gun in the background. You can just see the bottom left corner there. It was very intentional. Continuity was very important in this scene. But again, we're in a classroom, so. Okay, so. I think it's self-explanatory. Shooting Ross, this is Ross again, very still, and Steven just had to walk around him. And then I just intercut between the two shots of him walking through and cutting it to make it seem like he's teleporting around. I mean, when you have no budget, man, you just come up with the craziest ideas. I kind of thought about this in the spot because I was like, I want to show an ability. We did the force push one with Isaac. I'm very proud of it, but it's not that great looking back on it. Again, I just typed in car explosion, probably from like a behind the scenes of a television show or something, because you can definitely see the crew stuff on the left hand side. Look at this. So this was probably the trickiest, but probably the most fun thing I ever had to do. It just says for him to jump, land with a punch. When I went home and I was editing, I wanted to create that electric kind of hand thing. All I could find was having a PNG file. And as you can see, it looks really good, but you can also tell where the edges are. So I kind of didn't do a good job of maybe I could have duplicated it, had it go a bit more around, maybe matched the light with the scene and everything else. But you know, I'm kind of happy with how it still all came together, regardless. Quantum. So that 7/5/15 never came out. I would probably say of all the videos I've made, I'm probably most proud of this one, mainly because I can rewatch it without feeling too cringy about it, because I understood the context of where I was as a filmmaker, and I understand that for me to get to where I am now, I kind of had to go through, you know, those different things that I experienced at the time making this film. It was really fun to shoot. I really, really enjoyed it. I learned how to edit. I learned how to use visual effects. I learned how to use sound effects. With my voiceover, I learned how to use my voiceover. You can really see that this is where I started to like action sequences. It was great to just have kind of everyone on board watching it with me. And everyone who was part of this film, I want to say a huge thank you. You're part of the reason why I got into film, so hope you enjoyed this really embarrassing video. And you know, if you like what you see, please click subscribe and click that like button and see more videos. I'll catch you in the next one.